What we got here is a failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach. So you get what we had here last week, which is the way he wants it. Well, he gets it. I don't like it any more than you men. Kind of different, not an epic. Kind of time to start something new maybe with this box set. We're now into 1967 with Cool Hand Luke. Yeah, I've seen it before. In fact, watched it a long time ago in high school and really liked it. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Considered by the Cheers gang to be the sweatiest movie ever made. Does Luke have a cool hand? And does Lucille really know what she's doing? As played by Paul Newman, Luke is a war hero sentenced to do 2 years of hard labor at a Florida prison camp for cutting the heads off of parking meters while on a bender. While maybe not a model prisoner, Luke gives the guards no reason to worry. He wins over his fellow inmates by never backing down and having a real cool hand. The circumstances surrounding the death of his mother cause a failure of communication with the authorities as to his serving out the rest of his sentence. Directed by Stuart Rosenberg, who also directed Village of the Damned, The Amityville Horror, and The Pope of Greenwich Village, and featuring George Kennedy in an Oscar-winning performance, as well as some other notable character actors: Dennis Hopper, Wayne Rogers, Harry Dean Stanton, Ralph Waite in his first role, Strother Martin is the captain, and Morgan Woodward plays the man with no eyes. And Joe Don Baker is Mitchell. The role of Luke's dying mother, Arletta, who visits him in prison, was given to Joe Van Fleet after it was rejected by Bette Davis. And Lucille, oh Lucille! Whatever I've done, God, don't strike me blind in the next few minutes, was played by Joy Harmon. The film, set in the 1950s, is based on Don Pierce's novel, and it sounds like Pierce sort of knew what he was talking about. He was a merchant seaman who later became a counterfeit and safecracker, and he wrote the novel about his experiences on the chain gang in Florida. Like the movie or hate the movie, one thing they definitely got right was that the cinematography made everything look hot. Just like I would guess a Florida prison camp might actually be. With all these faces and with all the cinematography and with all the story, there's only one person that really matters in this film, and that is Paul Newman. Seen him in other stuff, mostly later work. I saw Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. He's definitely charming. And he's maybe not the first guy I would pick for this because he is a movie star from the word go, but somehow he transcends that. He makes Luke fresh to the point that it would be hard to see anyone else in the role, especially their first choice, Jack Lemmon, who also thought he was totally wrong for this role. He ended up producing the film. And Newman is never bigger than the part. I mean, he has all the charm, all the looks, all the charisma of a movie star, and yet as a character, it just fits exactly right. Even when he's using those iconic blue eyes that just look right through you and make you melt. And although the novel is more of a veiled autobiography based on true events, the script really is a Christian allegory that uses the work camp as a setting for the gospel. In the Bible, Luke is the physician, and Luke is portrayed here as a Jesus-like redeemer. The system's there, and the system can work if the laws are followed, but the laws are very difficult to follow. So no matter what you're doing, you're always going to fall short of the law. Well, when Luke comes around, there is another way. Luke is not of this world. He's not a prisoner to the world. He's not a prisoner to the camp. He is a totally unique creature. His fellow inmates begin to follow him and emulate him and work towards his new way, the new way of the new man. No, I'm going to cut that. Now, this might seem like a long hair stretch, just some guy that's trying to bring God into everything. Well, that's not the case if you watch the film with these things in mind. I mean, it is blatant. Parallels to the life and work of Christ in this film abound. There's miracles to the resurrection, to cross imagery everywhere. I mean, even the way things are set up. You can tell that this starts with the destruction of the moneylenders at the temple and goes to the crucifixion and the resurrection. It's all here. You can track it. And the use of gospel music is all the way through this. This is not Lord of the Rings Christian allegory where you're like, yeah, kind of works. This is C.S. Lewis, Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe. Aslan equals Jesus. Look it up. And beyond all that, there is so much heart here. Cool Hand Luke is a great movie. But it's also an exceptional film that works on several levels. Had this just been a prison movie about sweating and Paul Newman eating 50 eggs, it really would have been enough. but it's so much more. This is one of a handful of films that I can think of. It's so much better than it needs to be. It transcends the genre. I think of like the Lego Movie. Lego Movie just didn't have to be stupid, and it would have been fun and it would have been a blockbuster, but the Lego Movie is pretty amazing and has a lot of big ideas that it really doesn't need to for a kid's movie. Cool Hand Luke and the Lego Movie mentioned in the same sentence. Probably not going to happen again. You saw it. And a part that stands out from all of this, the scenes that you know of, the Lucille, the paving the blacktop, the eating 50 eggs. The one scene that really gripped me was when Luke takes a banjo and starts singing Plastic Jesus, a 1950s novelty song. I don't think I've ever been moved by a novelty song before. This movie knew how to do that, and that's pretty exceptional. In case you haven't figured it out yet, I'm giving Cool Hand Luke 5 out of 5 amazings. Next time we go far into the future, to the year 2001, for a space odyssey. Until then, I'm Uncle Tony. I don't care if it rains or freezes, long as I got my plastic Jesus riding on the dashboard of my car. Comes in colors pink and pleasant, glows because it's iridescent. Take him with you if you're traveling far.